get started. So my name is Phil Crosby. I'll be talking briefly about Chrome extensions. I'm an engineer at Uyala. You may have heard of one of my projects called Ninja Words and the Ninja Words iPhone app. And right now I'm working on an extension called Vimium. And this basically allows you to navigate the internet using keystrokes in the spirit of the Vim editor. It's very similar to the Vimperator plugin if you've ever used that for Firefox. All right. So Chrome extensions. Why are they a lot of fun to build? They actually, the Chrome extension API is like this wonderful example of a beautifully simple API. They've used just a ton of existing technologies that work really well together and that probably a lot of people in this room are already pretty good at. Just plain HTML, plain CSS, and JavaScript, nothing fancy. And so if you're familiar using Firebug, you can like debug your Chrome extensions with the equivalent tool that is in Chrome. So extensions actually look like just small websites, and that's all they are. Here's an example. This is my extension. It's got, as you can see, it's got a manifest file. It's got 2 HTML pages and 2 JavaScript files. So the manifest is pretty much what you'd expect. It's this file that has your extensions icon. It has the URLs that your extension runs on. There's also a background page, which you can think of it as a background process. So when you launch Chrome, if you have a background page in your extension, it gets launched when the browser starts, and there's just one of it for the entire session of Chrome. And that'll come into play, I guess, when we talk about content scripts. So you can also have one or more content scripts in your extension. A content script acts and works just like a Grease Monkey script, if you've ever played with Grease Monkey. So it's basically a piece of JavaScript that runs at the beginning of every page load. So if you have 5 tabs open in Chrome and you've got a content script in your extension, then you've got 5 instances of that content script running. And in there you can do things like you can change the CSS, you can show like a UI on top of the web page, you can listen for key handlers, you can listen for click handlers, you can do pretty much anything you want. Now there are a few JavaScript functions that Chrome defines that allows you to mess with the browser itself. So you can open and close tabs, you can open and close windows, you can add and remove bookmarks. Those are only available from the context of a background page. And so your content scripts are run in the context of the actual web page. If they want to mess with the native Chrome JavaScript APIs, then you basically communicate to your background page. You say, hey, add this bookmark for me, and the background page will do it. Actually, I guess one of the most popular channels of communication between the content scripts and the background page, just to illustrate how all this works together, is preferences. And so the content script will load and it will change some CSS or something, and then the user will click a button and you'll want to store that as a preference in the extension's local storage using the HTML5 local storage API. And to do that, the content script will send a message to the background page saying, hey, store this preference. In your extension, you can also have just miscellaneous HTML pages. It's all HTML, so if you had a settings dialog, it's an HTML page. If you have a pop-up somewhere, it's an HTML page. So these are a few of the ways in which you can extend the native Chrome API, or the native Chrome UI. They have these things called page actions, which are just little icons in the URL bar. They have things called browser actions, which is an icon in the toolbar. And when we click these, it's just an illustration of how cool this API is. When you click on one of those buttons, this pop-up gets shown, and that's just another HTML page. And then Chrome sizes the pop-up to fit your HTML page, and that's it. Like I said, they have a few ways that you can mess with the native browser. There's more stuff coming, I hear, but right now you can basically navigate tabs. There's event listeners associated with each of these things. You can open and close windows, you can add and remove bookmarks, and that's it. You'll notice it's much simpler than the Firefox extension API, much less powerful, but it seems to be getting the job done for the broader extensions community. And that's it. If you have any more questions, grab me later, but if you have a half hour today, I suggest, I think it would be to your benefit to just check out the docs. They're pretty awesome. Thanks.